It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. And with us, we have a guest early in the show. He has a question for us. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So I live just a couple miles up the street here, and I have a Texas red oak that I planted probably about 20 years ago. It's about halfway grown, and so it's probably, I guess, 20 feet tall. And I think that it has a horrible scale problem on it. It's never happened before, but I came out and there's all kinds of these white, things all over it. At this point, they're on the trunk, and then they're on the limbs that come out, and at this point they're soft still. And so I have other trees, different varieties. The only other one that they seem to be attacking is I have a cedar elm, and it has a much less infestation on it. But what are you?
There's no leaves on the Texas red oak?
It's leafing out at the very top and a couple other branches, but the lower ones haven't leafed out yet.
Huh. Mark, you got any ideas on the...
That would be very unusual.
Say it again?
That would be very unusual. A scale on a, not out of the realm of possibility, but on a red oak and cedar elm, that would be unusual. If it is, my suggestions would be you could still do a oil-based at this time. Generally, you don't want to do it when the leaves are coming out. That was but if it's on the bark, you could probably do that.
When did it first show up?
I saw it about a week and a half ago.
But it wasn't visible before that.
I just came out in the front yard, and my wife and I noticed that the tree was leafing out at the top and on one side, but the lower branches weren't leafing out yet. And so we came up and looked at it, and it had these, these white. They're kind of squishy, right? And so I kind of looked it up on the internet, and it sounds like they're squishy to start off with, and then they form their hard shell.
Yeah.
And as long as they're still squishy, you can.
No webs or anything on it.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes there's this not a phylloxera. What is that? Anyway, there's a really cool bug that will produce all these webs on the trunk. They're actually cleaning the tree up, but it still looks horrifying. But that's not what this is. So, so you can do a couple of things. Imidacloprid is an insecticide that's systemic. You can try that. But I think just right now, a simple oil.
What kind of oil? What would the...
The horticultural oil, I think sun spray is probably the best. But we have that here. We'll have a horticultural oil. Okay. Generally, we do it in the wintertime, in the dormant season. Its original name was dormant oil.
So is this going to kill the limbs that it's on, or
no? It'll suffocate. What it's doing is suffocating.
No, I mean if it's got that bad of an infestation. And does this sound like scale to you?
Well, as Mark indicated, that's unusual.
Yeah.
If it was in the middle of a peach tree, we might think it was.
Peach tree, or I saw some on a Mexican buckeye the other day.
Well,
but it was like one branch as big as my pinky, so I wouldn't worry about it.
The thing about that horticultural oil, relatively inexpensive and not a threat to anything else. So you may as well hit that up. I can't. Let's see. I guess I think you're right though. I think you need to treat it before everything hardens up.
Okay.
So yeah, it is extremely unusual to have that, particularly on the trunk. Do you say the trunk too?
It's on the trunk, and then it's
on
the,
several branches.
on the the lower limbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
What side of the sun on the trunk?
It's actually on the. It's mostly on the west and south side.
Yeah.
I may have to clip a little bit of. I don't live too
you,
far away. I may bring a little bit sample of it down to look at.
A little bit of samples for us. That would be really helpful, or even a photo would be great.
Say that again.
Even a photo on your phone would be great. I didn't
think about seeing y'all here.
Well, we're here 12 to 2, Saturdays and Sundays. So come on by.
Okay.
Except next Sunday, but you'll talk about that. What you talk about?
Okay. So is the oil like a neem oil?
Well, it's like a neem oil, but it's horticultural oil.
It's called horticultural oil.
It's a organic, considered organic
treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's considered a petroleum product.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's mineral based. Sometimes it's linseed oil. You know, it comes in several different products.
Okay. Well, I'll
just go inside and ask if they have it on the shelves. And the reason I say that is, again, we use it normally in the wintertime on our fruit trees as a treatment for just the insect that you're talking about.
Okay. And of course, it'll store forever. So
yeah. Okay. Okay, very well. Thanks very much for your help.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Let us know if you find out anything.
Yeah. Take a picture or bring us somebody.
Sounds good.
Very nice.
That's a good question to start the day.
Absolutely. Haven't even given out the number yet. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. It's been 1 week since spring has started, and the weather today does not feel like it is spring. This cool breeze kind of just blew in.
Well, it depends on where you grew up.
Well,
this seems very spring-like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or fall-like, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we had our class.
How did that turn out?
It was good. It was great. Great discussion. And Lulu was there, and a number of other gardeners that have a history of planting milkweed and working with monarchs. So, gosh, it was a pleasant discussion and informative.
In your weekly activities in the newspaper, we'll talk about the article in a little bit, but you had the butterflies are on the monarchs are on their way. So be sure to have both the milkweed and nectar plants.
Yeah, it's tough to get the milkweed there in time, and unless your favorite nursery has a lot of large foliage plants. I keep expecting us to get some tropicals, but
tropicals or at least some butterfly weed, the local milkweed.
Mm-hmm. But both of those are good nectar sources, and also the monarchs, we use them for nesting site, and we encourage the nesting on them going north rather than going south. But if you've got I look out here, and if you're looking for some kind of nectar sources for the monarchs on their trip north, with lantanas, zinnias, what other ones we got, Mark? Dianthus, plumbagos. Are you distracted?
Yes, I'm distracted by there was an infant with some unusual hair.
He combs it the same way Mark does.
Yes, yes.
But anyhow, that's a was a good point Mark brought up, is that you do have, there's plenty of blooming plants here at the nursery so that you can get ready for the monarchs that are moving through. And they will be moving through. We've seen a couple here.
We've seen a couple here, but next couple of weeks, right? That's when we think the big population's going to be moving through.
That's right. And so we should see a number of them. And let's see, in terms of the class, the issues where the typical issues, what seeds what milkweed seeds are germinating, and what made it through the winter, which was kind of interesting. We had butterfly weed made it, some showies made it, some tropical milkweeds made it. A lot of zizodis made it. What was surprising to me, though, is none of the new zizodi seeds germinated so far. The way we know all this is that we distribute stratified seeds and germinated plants to the attendees to the classes, and so we prepare them before they come. But some greens have germinated, but between the swamps and zizodis did not germinate, which is strange.
That's kind of unusual.
Yeah, except for the swamps last year also didn't germinate in the spring, but they went crazy in the fall after we got a new seed source, and so that'll be interesting to see if they respond. Then zizodi, we'll be curious about that too. We generally don't stratify them, so I am stratifying some just to see if it's just an issue, a special temporary issue with them.
Yeah, now the zizodis are native to south and west of here. Is that correct?
Yeah, and also the Blacklands.
Oh, okay. So they do a little bit. Yeah. They almost surround San Antonio.
Yeah, okay. And I find that interesting that they patches of them grow up the Blacklands prairie that you talk about all the time. Or some of our shade trees are more comfortable in that soil. So, anyhow, if you have any questions on the discussions on the milkweed or monarchs, feel free to give us a call, and then we'll probably mention later in the show. We'll probably mention next classes when they're scheduled. We got classes in both Floresville
and New Braunfels.
New Braunfels, yeah.
And those will be later in April and then the beginning of May.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll touch base on those later.
And then the Spurs play another game today.
They sure do.
I am despondent, however.
Because Michigan
won, but Michigan State lost.
Minnesota lost to the UCLA in the women's game.
I know. Keeping track on both of them. Oh, well. Well, one Michigan team will represent.
210-308-8867. 210-308-8867.
I hate to be such a downer on that. I apologize.
Well, after he has his 3 or 4 cups of coffee, he'll perk back up.
Yeah, perk back up in the 1 o'clock hour.
Only the first one here.
Well, I looked. We got some zinnias left. We got dianthus left.
But did you see what was underneath the shade area? We had our first impatiens arrive.
Lots of impatiens.
A lot of impatiens.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to love them, but they have trouble surviving in our weather, our summer weather.
Well, they need to be shaded. They need to be watered. Not every place in San Antonio is like that. So, yeah.
And if it's a mild summer, they do fine.
Yeah.
If it's a horrendous 100-degree summer, they have a little trouble surviving. Yeah. So.
But we do have them for sale here.
Yes.
Yeah, and they look nice. Wonderful.
Yes, they do look nice.
They're for sale.
Mark, we still have a few tomatoes left.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them look like they got some good size on that.
Well, some of them are indeterminate. So a question one of the staff asked me, it says, do we need a big pot for those? And I said, oh, yes. So we have some
a big pot and a much longer growing season.
Yeah. So we have some Brandywine, Sun Gold, and Early Girl. And but we also still have Tycoon, Red Deuce, Amelia, and, of course, Pull Big, the rodeo tomato for this year.
I had a gardener at the class this morning that was raving about her Pearl Big, about how that the fruit was already golf ball size.
Yeah, and that's a good way to describe it. From what I understand, it's nice and round, and it will continue.
That's what I asked about. Yeah. Was it did it have the sharp edges, or was it completely round? And she said it was completely round. So that's what I kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
So that Pearl Big, the rodeo tomato is still available. Sounds like Mark talking about. And how about did our geraniums all get sold?
I believe so, but I didn't have my eyes on the ground. We had them on the ground underneath the tables for a while, but I haven't seen that. I was looking at all the other stuff.
They were so noticeable.
Yeah, God.
Last weekend,
and they were selling.
Yeah, for sure.
Because from a Saturday to a Sunday, we looked and we went,
they were
my!
Pretty much gone. Yeah.
There was only a third left of
and
where they had them in front.
There's a few other perennials that sold here during the week too. The Pumbagos look good. And let's see, there's a number of lantanas left, still blooming, but doesn't look like there's many of our new golds or our spreading lavenders.
But we have a fine selection of Society garlic right in front of us.
Absolutely.
And don't you have a notice on that about Society garlic?
We do have a notice, and we'll get to that when we get back.
Okay. What a tease. What a segue.
210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. As we were talking about before, we have a lot going on here at Millburgers, a lot of sales going on. Millburgers continuing their Super Spring Spectacular sale. We've already touched base on two of them. The Impatiens are on sale.
Are they?
Yes. 4-inch pot,
good.
regularly $179, on sale $8 for $12. And what we can smell right here in front of us, the Society garlic, regularly $9.99, on sale $7.88.
I wondered.
I'm hungry.
I wondered when Mark was going to moan and groan about the author of the article about best shade in small trees, and why the heck did he mention Lady Banksia rose in there?
Well, I was eating my huevos rancheros this morning, and in mid-bite I went, huh? What? So, but you explained it well.
Sort. But actually, I could have described it as an aggressive vine too, because what I was talking about is its ability to not only be in the full sun like a Mexican plum and make a nice mound and covered with blooms, but also it has a capability for very long life, and even when it gets covered by shade trees, I've got one that's got mesquite and a big live oak growing over the top of it, but it has these 3-inch, 4-inch vine stems that find its way up into the sun, way up in the up above the tree or to the side of the tree, and so I kind of characterized it as a tree rather than any. I didn't mention vine or anything, but it basically that's what it is. But they are long-lived, and they only bloom for 3 or 4 weeks in the spring, but either yellow or white blooms.
Well, you had mentioned it, as many of our longtime listeners will remember, a couple weeks ago. You had mentioned that very same description. And so I wasn't too surprised this morning when I read it, because I had remembered you had explaining it just that way, that it can get a very thick, really thick, like 6 inches stem through at the base of it, and then wind its way all the way up through the tree.
Yeah.
And then when it flowers, it's extremely beautiful.
That's right. Kind of looks like a shower of snow, and the petals eventually fall off, and they will cover the ground around it, which it makes it you get the bloom, and then you get the petals around it afterwards too. So, another one I mentioned was Brazil. Does anybody sell Brazil?
I know that you did. Thank you. We really should encourage it.
I think that's one of the reasons I mentioned it, because you have mentioned it.
I'm very, very, very appreciative of this small native tree. It goes by various names: Candelia, Brazil. I can't think of the third one, but it's I'm not going to say evergreen. I'm going to say semi-evergreen. On harsh winters, it'll lose all its leaves. But a brilliant lime color in the spring. You can't miss it if you're walking. If I'm going at Harburger Park, and I know this because I've taken several tree ID classes or walks through there for people, and it just stands out. And then throughout the summer, had developed these little tiny blackberries that are appreciative by the birds very much, and it kind of stays. It's a restrained shape. It's kind of globular.
It's
but
kind of
12 to 15
little lots of little straight stems in different directions.
And it stays nice and restrained. Perfect for modern landscapes, and extremely drought tolerant. So you get it established, and basically you go once a year. And
the birds love it as a nesting site. What surprises me is that those white-winged doves use it. I mean, here's this. Seems like they're nearly half as big as the tree, and they're nesting, and you don't even notice them until you get real close, because they hang out in there. They stay put. It's just a pretty secure place.
Oh yeah, nice and thick with, like you mentioned, some thorns. They're not big thorns; they're little thorns.
They're enough to
they're a nuisance.
Discourage you from climbing up into the white-winged dove. And then I'm sure they may discourage the predators like the fox from climbing up there to the doves too. But how would a gardener interested in a native? Now, if you've got them in your neighborhood, they're easy because they reseed, and you can transplant them. But I don't remember ever seeing them in a nursery. Have you?
Rarely. I have seen one or two, but it's very rare. Easy to propagate.
With the berries?
Yeah, with the berries. And I say easy. A lot of native plants are kind of hard to propagate, but usually you do it through the berries. You may have to have 50 or so berries and get one or two.
Plants. In my yard, they're coming up everywhere,
yeah. But just like what we found with the milkweed, native plants don't often transplant well. And so, just direct sowing into a pot with the berries, that would probably be a better way of doing it.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe some of the native plant specialties, or that you could find some container grown.
Yeah, I think if you look at there's a couple around town that specialize in native plants, and I certainly would encourage you to call those.
Yeah, so it is.
Yeah, and then also, I highly recommend Jill Noakes, and that's Nokes. She has a big book on how to propagate native plants, both physically propagation. Well, it'll depend on the plant. Physical propagation through cuttings or through seed. And it's an excellent book.
Does it target Texas?
Yes, it does. That's its
cool.
primary focus. So, go on Amazon or your local bookstore.
And see
if you can get
Paul Cox's book.
Paul
has
and
an
Patty.
Interesting,
Don't forget Patty.
Interesting little write-up on it. So that's a good place to start. But
yeah, that's a good place for ID. It is drawings of the leaf and the fruit and the tree itself, but I find them pretty good, and it's a nice book written in layman's language. And then the little stories behind it.
I was trying to figure out if the deer ate it. I can't tell. It doesn't look like in my neighborhood that it's growing in areas that aren't fenced. So that probably usually indicates that it's the deer will eat it.
Well, the ones I see in Harburger Park may have a browse line. So they may eat the lower branches, but they're not eating. They may have escaped over time, and that's all they're eating. I don't think it has really good bark to rub on.
Oh no!
It's very chunky.
Unless you're into bloodletting.
So I don't think many bucks are into that one because with the thorns and the bark. On a mature tree is really not conducive to rubbing your antlers on.
I guess it's a pretty tough time for foliage right now because I've seen the deer reaching up to get the new growth on the cat vine.
Cat vine?
Yeah.
I hope they do it.
Yeah, some things that they normally don't seem to eat, but when you have a 7 years of drought, sometimes it gets pretty skimpy on the new foliage. So that does change the habits. So it might even, in one article, the reader asked for a list of the deer-proof plants, and I usually mention Nandina. Then I remember back to 15 or 16 years ago, and that's back then they ate the Nandina. So, their habits change based on what's available.
Alex, I don't mention this. I have mentioned it once, but I repeatedly mention it to Milton. Is what is the rule for deer-resistant plants?
I think last time I said some different words, but it's
the same order. Yeah, you're going to change.
Smell.
Stinky.
Sticky.
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 Thorny.
Thorny.
Or fuzzy. Well, there's one more in there. I think thorny. Fuzzy.
Yes,
Well, what about, does iris fit any of that?
That may have been the third word. I can't remember. Really tough leaf.
Tough.
Yeah.
Well, staying on the topics of trees, 210-308-8867. We have Bert on the line. Bert, how's it going?
It's very well. It's like I was talking to Al, and it's like I took a day off, and I'm just having a hot tub day.
All right.
Ooh. Any beverages involved in that hot tub?
A little vino.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, and I heard you know, I usually don't call this early because I like to listen to the whole dialogue that's going on. But you piqued my interest with grasses, Mark, and trees, because I remember a soil that I've heard about a long time ago, and I actually met the soil. It's los. Did I get that word correct?
Yeah, or los, or some people it's harder, los. So LOESS.
Correct. That's what I remember.
And it is windblown glacier soil. So it's
indicative. It's also indicative to grasslands, correctly?
Right. Correct. Well, it just so happens, yeah. So anywhere there is corn grown nowadays, originally it was grassland, and it's on low soil.
And I actually got the feel, while I was just on a mission, I was like, so I will say, did you say you're from Michigan, correctly?
That is correct, sir.
They asked him not to emphasize it. Yeah.
They asked me not to come back.
I was just gonna say go blue. Sorry, Calvin.
No, you could say it, but it's better to say go green, go white.
Okay, I'm good with that. But anyway, like I said, the grasses, like you said, the clump soil, it's like, I wish more people would realize the grasses, those clump soil grasses, actually hold the environment. They stop the runoff and everything.
Yes, and in our area, the clump grasses are more drought tolerant. And we say, or bunch grasses, and those would be, little blue stem is a very common one, but most people are aware of, or many people are aware of the products that are coming out from Native American Seed and Ladybird Johnson, these mixtures of buffalo grass, curly mesquite, and blue gamma. And these are all bunch grasses, and they make these specialty turfs, thunder turf, or I can't remember the one out of Ladybird. But
I want to ask you, Mark. I want to ask you. It's like, how would it be for a border, like around where the rain comes in, and it just like wants to wash away the soil because of the fences and stuff?
Excellent.
Would that be a good
big area?
Yeah.
They're not. Discipline. Discipline.
They're not what you think, folks. They're not what you think of a turf grass. You let them be 6 inches or higher, and you mow them like once a year or twice at the most. And but they would be really good, and they'd put down deep roots, or as deep as they can get.
No, it's like that's what, when I spoke to you last week, you said the taproot on most trees, I think the taproot is just to get them established, correct?
That is correct. But grassroots and tree roots are different, because grassroots are really fine and kind of fibrous in a mat. But the xeric ones will send down really long, I guess, air quote, tap roots.
Well, one thing I have to tell you, while I was on that mission when I was going to Sioux City, so like I have worn the Red Bull in combat. So if you're from there, you know what I'm talking about.
Slightly.
The Red Bull, the
there?
35th. Yes, I'm still here. But the thing was, like, when I was going on that mission, it was a peaceful
It
mission
was
to Sioux City.
I was getting kind of excited because it sounded like a really neat bar in me. And
No, it's not a bar. No, it's what
whole
was
town
it? 35th? Was it 35th?
It was the 35th Infantry Division. It was just when I lived in Iowa. I lived in Burlington, Iowa, for 3-4 years, and so I actually got to jump into Michigan. So,
probably.
I was just saying it was like when I was on my way, I saw. That's why I asked you. I know that you're like one of the tree experts of the world, and I did say that with all accolades.
No, that would have been Paul. That would have been Paul Cox. He's the tree expert of the world.
Well, I think Aldo Leopold was the most basic naturalist in the world myself.
That's right.
And
Paul was our local version.
The local version, yes.
Yeah, he was pretty entertaining and very knowledgeable.
I wanted to get the name again from the book. You said the woman that wrote the book on grasslands. That's what really piqued my interest. It was just like, okay, grasses. It's like, look, if you're a vegan, I did you a favor because I ate a cow.
Well, I don't remember the Grassland book, but I did mention earlier today, Jill Noakes is a propagation of anything and all things Texas. So, but grasses would be in there. Jill Noakes, Nokes.
Jill or
Jill. J.
And then I just wanted to say, it's like I spoke to you before, and I'd never seen, and I also saw on the same trip, the mission that I was on, I saw a scrub oak in the Midlands of Iowa, and I just had to go up and say hello. I mean, like I didn't hug it or nothing like that.
Yeah, I think it's a variant of our post oak. I
think so, because the scale, everything, all the bark was just like oak. Oh my God, what the? I was just like, what the heck is this oak doing out in the Midlands of Iowa?
Right. So, if I remember correctly, yeah, that's probably a blackjack or a post oak. Not very big, and not very thick, and not very big.
No, like I said, if I would have hugged it, I would have got my arms around it. And if I was twice the size of myself, I would have probably stood as tall as it was.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, now he sounded more like the concerning a tavern, and also Paul Cox, because Paul would be hugging that tree too.
Yeah, but that's that sounds about right. About the size, yeah.
Well, I thank you all, and I do. As even when Jerry was still around, I still call it the comedy conversation hour, if that's okay with y'all.
All right.
Well, he still is.
Thank you for
talk to y'all later.
All right, thank you, Bert.
Thank you, Bert.
210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We only touch a little bit on what's for sale here at Millburgers. A couple other things we have is the foxtail fern, regularly $12.99, on sale for $8.88 each, or 3 for $24. The Japanese boxwood, regularly $24.99, on sale 2 for $40. The split leaf philodendron.
You're pretty close.
Pretty close. At number 5, regularly $34.99, on sale for $24.88 or 2 for $50.
Philodendron.
Philodendron.
Yeah. Now, you're probably more correct, but that the common usage is philodendron.
The variegated ginger, regularly $34.99, on sale $28.88 each or 2 for $50. The fruit trees, they are still on sale. And the number 5 for $49.99, on sale 2 for $80. And
you're going to do the last one?
The last one? We got
last one? Because this is Calvin and I. It's one of Calvin and I's favorites.
I still see a few more for me, but
viburnum.
The viburnum.
Viburnum is what's the size?
And number 3.
Number 3 is regular $24.99. It is on sale for $16.88.
Those are y'all's favorites.
Well, it's one of our favorites.
One of your favorites.
Well, I like the idea of the viburnum. Mark always advocates that mix of plants for in a shrub border, basically, and always strikes me as the viburnums are so attractive, and they can take some sun and mostly the shade, and like three varieties of them together really look kind of cool, and some are real big and some can be medium size, or you've got some that are smaller that might not fit, but they might also fit too. Be interesting to.
So the advertisement implies that all the viburnums are on sale. So there's and we do have many different sizes, species, and varieties. So check them out. Yes, I do advocate for that.
Yeah, the one. Gosh, that's about 12 feet tall. Well, that's the one I had.
That's the one you like. That's the Sandaqua.
Yeah, that's a wonderful plant. And then everything beneath it is a little smaller, but equally attractive. Evergreen, shade tolerant. Deer do not eat them. That's another real advantage. So. Yeah, you could have a whole, if you have a side of your lot that is in the shade, can maybe a few shade trees in there, and you wanted to have a kind of thicken it and to have it very attractive and address the needs of the waterfall, not waterfall, but birds. And that would be a great selection to try, the viburnum. It'd be interesting to hear from somebody that has used it. I used them, gosh, but the big freeze we had, when was that? In
21? 21, right?
Yeah, back in 21.
Yeah, that kind of did take them out, but...
Well, Kevin and I have experienced several big freezes over the years. Back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't remember those. Are you saying you're not that old? Huh?
I have a question about shrubs, but we'll get back to that later. Right now we have Mike on the line. Mike, how are we doing?
I think I'm doing all right.
All right.
I was wondering, especially talking about fruit trees, if I were to draft a standard-sized tree cutting onto a dwarf root, would I get a standard-sized tree or a dwarf tree?
Say again? Standard, if you did
okay, if I've got a dwarf root fruit tree and I was to draft a standard cutting onto it, would I get a standard-sized tree or a dwarf tree?
Let me think. Marco... But I think it depends.
Yeah, there's the answer. It depends. So what they do with citrus is they frequently put a standard on a dragon fruit rootstock. Do I have that right? Dragon fruit or dragon something fruit, and then that will it will have the standard be a little dwarf. The opposite is kind of like a normal fruit tree. I don't think they have a rootstock which they will put on, which will cause the standard to be dwarfish. If anything, they have to do the reverse. So they have developed of a fruit tree, a dwarf version, a sport that they put on a standard root.
So some,
so some it's one way and some it's the other.
Some rootstocks affect the characteristics of the top, and then others just physically don't mess with it. So it's pretty complex.
Go ahead.
Basically, what you're telling me is I need to try it and let you know how it comes out.
Oh, that would be wonderful. But yeah, from my experience and knowledge, it works best from a citrus, on a citrus.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I had talked to you about the Barbados cherry, and I'm thinking in the long run what I might do is take that sweet tree cutting and put it on the dwarf root and see how it comes out.
Yes, I would like to find out, because I was totally surprised that there are varieties of Barbados cherries, and so you've clued me in on that one. So
quite a few too.
Yeah. I didn't know any. I would encourage you to do that, just to increase my knowledge on it.
Well, of course, we don't know how hard they are to plant, to put stems on there.
Yeah. Well, again, a Barbados cherry, since it's a native, it probably would be included in Jill Noakes's book. And encourage you to check that out. It's propagation of native plants in Texas.
Okay, I'll try that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe she has some ideas on that.
Well, if I live long enough, we'll see what happens. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good, interesting question.
All right, thank you. 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We've got about a minute left. I want to try and round off the last remaining items that we had for sale before we go to break at the top of the hour. Dwarf Buford Holly, regularly $24.99, on sale 2 for $40.
There's a wonderful plant.
And I haven't checked. I know that this has been out for the past few weeks. Boston Fern in a hanging basket, regularly $24.99, on sale $22.22. Osmocote Plus 18-6-12 formula, 2 pounds, regularly $21.99, on sale $16.88. And last but not least is All Metal Trellis and Metal Art, 25% off. So a lot going on here. A lot of things have been flying off the shelves and the ground.
Yeah, I said some of the plants have been moving from Saturday to Sunday.
And even now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then lots of, we need to talk about trees out there, and we need to talk about getting access to the CPS.
The energy rebate.
Rebates.
Rebate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, we'll talk all about that this next hour. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas, live from Millburgers Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
Well, we are going to talk about. Should we talk about the monarch and milkweed classes?
Yes, and
Or should we go get into the tree program?
No. Let's talk about your classes first.
Okay. Yeah,
hold on.
got.
We have a returning visitor.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right.
What you got?
So I brought back the. So this is what's.
If you
on
raise
that's my
raise the
red
microphone.
Oak.
Boy, it sure does look like
That's
scale.
my red. That's my red oak,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this is a little piece off of my cedar elm. And this is what that's the trunk of the red oak.
Mm-hmm.
Gracious.
Look at that. Oops. Now I sprayed it with this to start off with.
With no, was there any response?
I didn't see any, but
Yes.
I will say the tree is leafing out much more than it was before.
And it's one of the problems with using the horticulture oil is that you don't always get a real fast response or a direct
But
translation.
yeah, but if it's on leaves, they'll defoliate the
Yeah.
leaves. That was the problem. That's why I was saying you have to be real careful with it.
Boy,
or
that,
prune it off. Yes.
That looks just like a
Yeah.
So
fruit
that's
tree.
yeah, that's the cedar elm, and it looks like they start off, I mean, where they're spongy, and then they turn into that hard
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes, and so this is a scale. I don't know which one it is. It is if they turn hard, it's going to be a hard scale, but these look to be fuzzy and soft. Ooh, we can get some of those.
Now you could go
said-
ahead and if you were going to apply the oil, you'd do it real quick. But you've already applied that mite.
And I also put down the soak around the base of the about 2 weeks ago.
The insect.
The soak stuff that it's
The
supposed to be
systemic, yeah.
insecticide
Okay.
about 2 weeks ago.
So you could. I think you've got a good choice there. You could just accept that that you've taken action and that there will be some response to the mites, or you could go ahead and do some of the oil on it, but you'd want to do it quickly.
So the oil, is it going to hurt the foliage that's on the tree already?
Yes. So that's why you have to be very careful on that. Apply. You don't apply liberally. You apply judiciously on those. And you can cut off anything that is marginal or dead, and you dispose these. You know, like we talk about spider mites, how you don't put them in the compost pile, and you put them in.
Okay.
This is you put in the garbage bag.
Yeah, the garbage.
And,
Okay.
Take care of it.
Yeah. See, if this was a peach tree, I would just have sprayed it and just be content to see what happens afterwards. And usually, what'll happen is that you'll get most of the insects will die.
Yeah.
But not immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the great thing is, like I indicated earlier, this is very rare.
It's rare.
Rare, and so I don't think. Well,
Yeah, but
I
that
don't
help me.
think I can guarantee you, unless this was in a pot, I wouldn't even worry about it. So this is not in a pot; it's in the ground. So yeah, you go, yeah. When you're
Unusual.
yeah, it's unusual.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill the tree.
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
good.
So that's what I
But it may
said.
take off some of the little limbs. Okay.
But the little limbs would die anyway,
Okay.
eventually.
Okay, so I mean, it's mostly leafing out already. So
Correct.
should I reapply this?
Which one is that one? Disease and
I've applied it.
I think this is the what I use the term is.
What does the label say?
I'm getting to it. Gee whiz.
It says that it says it says it will work on scale in the early stage. I think.
So
I suspect it does not say to apply it again.
No. Combination of and they always criticize me. I go, I spell it I pronounce it just the way it's spelled. Imidacloprid and tubuconazole, which is a disease product. So, Okay. On the label says probably once every 10 to 14 days, and then not.
Okay.
So if it was 2 weeks ago, but the label is the law.
Okay.
So you read the label, but I suspect that's what it says.
Okay.
Twice.
And next year, in order to prevent this, when should I?
Well, it's really not a prevent.
It's not.
I would get $20 out of my pocket right now and bet you that you won't have it again next year.
Okay.
But I don't have $20 in my pocket.
And then you can take credit for protecting your wonderful tree.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I said in our very first thing without seeing anything. I said,
yeah,
God,
this is the red oak. I mean, it's been very hardy the whole time I've had it.
Mm-hmm.
It's right on the edge of where my turf grass is.
Well,
kind of in between the turf grass and the wild area.
I would declare that it was one of my favorite species, but it has had a tough couple years.
I was going to say the last 5 years. In particularly, it determined which species it is. So some of them further east, not so much. Some of those the parents are from the hill country. Yeah, it would have been much better. But yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Perfect place.
Okay, so
it doesn't like grass, and trees don't like grass, and so it's perfect.
Okay, well, so I'll just let it leaf out. So what you're telling me is that some of the smaller limbs may die, but the larger limbs should be okay, and it'll recover next year.
And prune appropriately and dispose.
Okay, very much.
Good luck.
Thanks very much for your help, guys.
No,
that was an interesting.
That's great.
issue.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, put it away. Yeah, get it away from here. Get it away from here. So, it was classic scale. And like you said, it looked to me like a fruit tree. But,
if he would have brought those stems in there, that would have been my first reaction.
Yeah.
Gosh, why didn't you spray it last winter? You know?
So, yes, rare on a shade tree, not so much on a fruit tree, but we managed for that.
But he was right too. But it's late because if it had been on a fruit tree, it would have been the hard scale portion, I guess, by now.
Yeah. That particular species, I do not know the official name of that, but there's several different soft and hard scales that are on oak trees, but they're rare and few and far between.
Okay, cool.
All right, 210-308-8867. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. I know before that we were going to start discussing your upcoming remaining milkweed and monarch
classes.
We
wanted to just we gave a report that today we went ahead and did the class in the Education Resource Center over by Medical Center, and we had a great class and good discussion, and distributed the plants and the stratified seeds that we talked about, and then we're not done with the monarch and milkweed classes. The next one we have scheduled, I believe, is the 23rd.
Yes, the Thursday, April 23rd at
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
And that's in Floresville, and it's in the number 10 classroom in the AgriLife Extension office there in Floresville. I don't remember the address.
All I know is 4th Street.
1103 4th Street. Classroom
right.
10. The phone number to sign up is 830-299-0069.
Yeah, and if you have any trouble connecting with them, go ahead and call the extension office there. But I think the master gardener that's taking the calls is ready for your call, and will put you on the list, and that'll give you access to the lecture course, but also give you access to a germinated plant and a stratified seed source. And then the other class that's available to the public is the one in New Braunfels, and that is sponsored by the this year is sponsored by the Comel, not the Master Gardeners, but the Master Naturalists, but they're co-sponsors, partners, along with the AgriLife Extension Office. And that's at that wonderful site. If you've never gone to that site where they have their garden, the Comel County Extension Service garden, it's a worthy trip. Wonderful place to visit. Nice classrooms, comfortable, and that'll be on May 2nd. That's the earliest class we offer, and that's at 9:30 in the morning. And that's the first of their series of classes that they're having that day. And lots of activities and displays, booths, available information, and opportunities for different topics you can check with. When you call that number, that is the AgriLife Extension Office, and they'll be able to tell you a lot about what else is available. Do you have that number, Alex?
I believe so. It's 830-620-3440.
Okay, and that's in New Braunfels, May 2nd, 9:30 a.m. And the reason you're registering is to these classes traditionally have a full house, so we like to be to make a commitment to those folks that register in terms of the receiving a germinated plant, a milkweed plant, and also some stratified seed. So sign up for it, and we'll see you there.
It sounds exciting. And I've just been, I guess, captivated by smelling this garlic all day right here.
By what?
By the smell of this.
I don't smell anything anymore.
You don't smell the garlic? You've gotten accustomed to it?
Yeah.
I
I've grown accustomed to her
From what
smell.
the info that Millburgers is giving is that both the leaves and flowers are edible on this plant.
I'm sure. It is society garlic, so should share with society.
Interesting.
And it's very attractive too.
Wow.
It's in bloom. How would you use that? I guess I kind of like the looks of it when it's in a kind of a bed.
Yeah, so I would, like an edging or a bed. Can you think that it may be a bit deer resistant?
Oh gosh,
I would think so.
You would think so because it's pretty smelly.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's the leaves are not edible as very, very much. Even though the flowers were smelling, but the leaves are tough and smelly.
Pungent. Is that the word? Pungent.
Pungent is the word. Yes. I'm stalling because I'm trying to remember its actual family.
Now, am I disconnected here?
No, you're on. You're
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, good. So some of the connections to the box I've known over time kind of finicky sometimes.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're also going to talk about the green shade rebate, the CPS Energy, because Calvin also mentions best shade and small trees in South Texas. So you still have time. It comes to April 30th, in the end of next month, that is still applicable for getting your rebate. And again, those are $50 rebates to a lifetime limit of 5. And you go back in the list.
Per address. Huh?
Per address. Yeah. Not per household, it's per the address. And the list is quite extensive.
Gosh, it's I mentioned in the article that some of the unusual plants that are included in that list. I always thought that their rebate addressed directly shade trees placed where they would reduce the need for air conditioning or the need for heat, but it's almost a general, seems like it's almost a general statement of support for planting trees, period, whether they're big or small. Just it's a good, important part of the environment.
So I like how you wrote it. It says, it may surprise you that they include many small species in addition to the larger shade trees. Do you want to be surprised more? The eligible list includes citrus, Lacey's oak, redbud, and many other species.
It does not include Lady Banksia rose.
Well, that was the whole point of that.
Despite me declaring it was could qualify as a tree because of how it grows, but boy, if you've got a favorite tree, and a large shade tree or all those trees we mentioned, Brazil and Mark has a whole list of the medium-sized trees too, and all of them are on the list. And they're the wonderful addition to do the transition between the lawn, the small shrubs, the medium shrubs, then the medium-sized trees, and up to the shade trees. And a lot of those small trees and medium trees, almost every one you can think of is on that list. But the deadline is the
end of April 30th.
Yeah, unless they run out of money before then.
That's true.
So go ahead, and if you've got in mind some trees you want to plant,
now's the time.
In April, go ahead and make your decision, pick up your plant, and then file for your rebate, and it's relatively easy, and they'll give you credit on your CPS bill.
So I was looking over quickly during one of the breaks. I was looking at the citrus, and they have Bloom Sweet grapefruit on our selection here that we have. So that might be one.
I like that. I really like that Bloom Sweet.
So that's grapefruit, and we can grow grapefruit here. It's a little.
Now be careful.
Over the years, it's kind of touch and go.
Yeah, be careful if you have prescription drugs because. Because grapefruit for some reason is, I guess, some of the active ingredients react to grapefruit.
Back in the old days, it was a blood thinner, warfarin. I think it was, and that was always do not have grapefruit. Okay. I don't have that blood thinner anymore. I have a different one.
All right, sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, so and if you want more information on the milkweed classes, and that is in the Express News Well, I take that back. It's not. It's in the website, on the website at the Millburgers website with the those phone numbers you need to call, and also the time and the locations. And they're in April and early May, so
You still have plenty of time to
Yeah.
sign up.
but get signed up, and then you're ready for action when the class comes.
Absolutely. 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. I think it was during the first hour I was going to had a question about shrubs. I guess when it comes to planting, how do you know how much space to put in between the shrubs? Or
I'm not
hear
hearing
me?
you yet.
No?
There
Nothing?
we go.
There we go. Yeah, well, when planting shrubs, how do you know how much space to put in between them, or if you're putting them up against the wall or a fence?
What kind of plants are they?
Shrubs?
So the spacing between it, or as we say, plant on center. So I do it a little bit differently. I have a little wider spacing. So normally I go, what's the height of the plant and what's the width of the plant?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the plant width is, then I will have it so at maturity they'll be touching each other. But a lot of people want it closer. They want immediate gratification, which, folks, is usually illegal or immoral. So that's why I say wait and do it.
Well, and then folks, they want a quick closing, but then 2 years they say, darn, I wish I hadn't done that, because it would look so much more attractive if I had given double the space.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you do plant them too close? Do they just become a mess?
Well, it depends on the plant and the species. Some of them don't respond very well. They don't, they can't support the foliage. And others, they do fine. They just make a thick situation.
Try to grow higher up, grow taller, as far as the genetics allow it within the plant. But a lot of times, the one in the middle gets squeezed out.
Yeah, and some of them that are so attractive. I was thinking of those. Some of the plants that you want them to have the space so that they can develop that form that is so attractive. A lot of those special nandinas and the hollies. They look great if you let them, instead of 18 inches apart or even 2 feet apart, they're 3 feet apart, and so that makes a big difference, and it doesn't take very long.
No, but I see it all the time. Frankly, is people planting. Dwarf yopons are always my favorite. Dwarf yopons should be planted wider than they usually are, but people want like an immediate screen, and I'm like, they'll be healthier, last longer, and look better. Frankly, if you're planting a little wider apart.
And usually it accomplishes the task you want too. You do want something that's orderly and disciplined, and does fill the space, and they will in a short time. Very attractive.
And how often for them should you be, I guess, cleaning them up, or how often?
Yeah, again, it depends on what you want, the style that you want, and what the plant can do for you.
Yeah. I'm inclined not to do much pruning on most of those. I just take advantage of the especially those discipline plants that we've talked about. But there are a lot of gardeners that really get into that pruning and managing those. I almost think it's a power thing.
Possibly. Don't know. I couldn't think of the word pruning right now.
So think of boxwoods. So they require, if you want that shape, and the boxwoods lend themselves to doing that a little bit, that you're going to have to prune them repeatedly throughout the year, sides and top. What happens invariably is you create a shrub which has most of its leaves on the top and very little on the sides, and so yeah, it looks a little silly after 5 or 10 years.
I always find the boxwood so unpredictable and hard to explain why this one is dying or this one is living.
And this past week I had that situation. I'm like, there was a line of 20 of them, which again but one out of the 20 in a line died. Why? I don't know.
And then trying to fit one in there that matches the others is pretty tough. It's kind of like, you didn't join us originally, so why should we give you any space here?
Yeah. So does that answer your question?
It does.
Most of the time.
Hey, sorry, asked.
Yeah, I know. Most of the time, you'll find that on the label on what the width is, mature width. Now, a great thing that the staff, the conservation of staff, which included me, created was their book. It had all the recommended plants, 100 recommended plants for San Antonio. And we purposefully put the width, mature width and height in there so you would know how big it got for your landscape, but also that gives you your spacing.
Where is that available?
It's available at Saws. It used to be available everywhere. I don't know where it is available now, but you just have to ask conservation.
Saws or?
Saws. San Antonio Water System.
Yeah, that's very useful information.
So it was the 100 best. But frankly, I don't know where we can get it. I know they're going to revise it.
Now, Travis County has some good literature, too.
Again, yeah, that's a fabulous one. Oh, I may have it right here. But anyway, the watershed, Travis County watershed or City of Austin watershed. Again, if you look into the description, you'll see right above it the width, the height, and the mature width and height of that plant.
That's good to know. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867.
We call it
Gosh,
the
that
purple
looks
book.
familiar. That was, I think, the first one that came out was when I was there at the extension director there. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So it is. It's gone through several evolutions. There's the olive one and the purple one, and I just have the purple one.
Yeah. That may be a little later than my version.
Calvin, your article, is there anything else that you feel that needs to be brought to light on it, or?
Well, we're, let's see. We talked about the lawn fertilization.
Did we talk about lawn fertilization?
Well, in the article we did.
Oh, yeah.
But in this week in the garden. And folks are getting a little restless. And my article, I'm
Are you gonna
trying
say
to
next
remember
week?
if it's next week or the
Or
week after.
Well, the week after is usually when we tell people.
Fertilize.
Yeah, now it's time maybe to go and fertilize it, but wait one more week. So second and third week of April is usually when we tell people, because
I attempted. One of the issues is that I'm sure Mark will agree with me, that we are just seeing constantly input is my lawn is died and it's bare, and I'm going to replant it.
Yeah.
And then we say, well, why is it bare and why is it a problem? Is it the shade? And too often the landowner or the gardener says, it's died. I want a new lawn. I want it to work. And it's just you're kind of ignoring that's not going to work. I mean, if you should feel blessed that your shade trees have matured enough that you don't have enough shade for lawn. And then you got lots of choices. I mean, you can use the shade plants, lots of shade plants to talk about, lots of options. So hopefully we'll bring that up. And then you have to do an analysis of whether you've got enough sun, and at least 6 hours of sun is what's necessary for San Augustine grass, and it's certainly not enough for Bermuda grass. We had that. I think we had a customer today, or whether that was talking about a new lawn, but didn't have. Said something about, well, it's 6 hours.
Do you have 6 hours of direct sunlight
for Bermuda grass?
Yeah, no. It's pretty easy. It's 10 hours or more of direct sunlight for Bermuda, 6 or 8 to 10 for zoysia, and then 6 to 8 for St. Augustine.
Now, and if you determine you have enough sun for your favorite lawn grass choice, and then you also want to analyze the water situation. Do I have enough water are the restrictions that I live under in my community, do they offer the option to support a lawn effectively? And then you say, well, how do you know that? Well, then you kind of look at soil depth. You want to look at what the rules and restrictions are. Now, in the old days, we would have said, well, we'll be out of the drought restrictions soon. So far, we haven't. That has not been an effective argument.
I was going to say 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, but if you've got a new lawn, don't hesitate to invest in 6. And you absolutely want the lawn grass. You need invest in 6 inches of soil. It really makes a big difference. Mark and I were involved in those research projects on the lawn grass. I don't remember how many years ago, but if you had 6 inches of soil and adequate sun, your lawn survived. And it was, it may not, if you couldn't give it all the water you wanted to, but it still survived until you could get access to water. 6 inches is the magic number. Now, some of our requirements are, in San Antonio, we required 4 inches for a new lawn, but it'd be best if you had 6 inches.
Yeah. That was the compromise that Calvin negotiated in the ordinance, must be 4 inches. We would have preferred 6, but we got 4. And now, as of this past January, this year, SAW's Conservation Department will be measuring that. So if you have no soil or less than 4 inches, you will not get a permit for your CFO or your irrigation system.
Yeah,
so the irrigation system is how it all triggers.
soil depth and the amount of sun you have is very important. Another thing that's surprisingly important is how much slope you have. If you have a lot of slope, it's not nearly as efficient on watering. So you have to take that into consideration. But there's some wonderful alternatives, and we'll cover that in that future article, to our traditional San Augustine grass or Bermuda grass or even zoysia grass. Shade-tolerant ground covers, and the evergreen ground covers are neat and relative easy. Once they're established, they're easy to maintain and use a lot less water. But are also, we've talked about a few times, the medium size. You want to fill up more space, and things like shrimp plant and Turk's cap and
our other Mexican honeysuckle. So those are kind of our big three.
Lots of choices to cover a lot of space, and then you have all the other, even the ajuga and mondo grass and Asian jasmine and dwarf Ruellia. Just
lots of choices.
Yeah,
a lot. Well, 210-308-8867. We're going to take one more break for today. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We have about 10, 12 minutes left in our show for today. So 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
And what are we going to talk about tomorrow? We'll talk about trees again. And
talk about trees and what's on sale and all the wonderful plants that we have available.
A lot of plants that are either partial or shade plants, or that prefer the shade.
And we didn't mention the huge supply of begonias. Let's see, and some of those petunias over there too that are our favorites. What is this purple flower, Mark? That looks like the one that we had in the that was in the photo.
Yeah, the hanging baskets right above us. It looks like a petunia or a viola, doesn't it? I think petunia. A little petunia. Whoops.
And that purple one that the gardener brought up, that was one of those, I want to call it spirea, but it's salvia. It's one of the salvias. But lots of choices on salvias. All of them good.
Yeah, and you know what? I was thinking, you were mentioning all the shade perennials. We don't talk about tropical salvia, Salvia coccinea, often enough, because it's one of the ones that actually does well in the shade, and we really like that. And
what a long bloom period it has.
Yeah,
It started the bloom in some landscapes already, and the deer don't eat it.
Nope.
Fits. You know what else is blooming up a storm? Blue curl. Gosh. And it's in the middle of my rose bed.
Oh.
And I just can't bring myself to pull it.
Well, I just have to remember that eventually in the middle of the summer the flowers will.
Yeah.
Well, and so you can do that then.
I should, but I keep telling myself I'm getting closer and closer. There's a ton of it. It's all over my landscape. I can do without it in the rose bed. But of course, that plant that's in the rose bed gets access to more water and less weeds and full sun. So it's really looking pretty spectacular. But then I'd have to sacrifice some attention to my Carefree Beauty and my that is blooming up a storm too. Really a great time for blooming plants right now. And the veggies are starting to produce.
Absolutely.
You know, you can collect the seed off that blue curl.
I've got, how much seed do I need to have? I mean,
No. But
3 barrels full?
But you can sell that because lots of other people want the blue curl. So think of it as blue curl gold.
I do have quite a supply in my closet.
Oops. Okay.
But
so you're trying to corner the market.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I should I should get it distributed, and because one of the wonderful things about blue curl is that it produces a lot of seed, and it starts early, and it will continue blooming, and it'll continue. New seed will germinate, for all through May and into June. It's one of those. It's one of the reasons we like it is that it kind of fills the gap for our mist flower until we get an all-star nectar plant.
Right.
Mist flower.
So
What's happening?
No, it's just all of a sudden there's a wave of customers that
Yes.
we have. So it's like, hey, look at all the customers. But it just caught Alex's eyes and I's attention. We're like, look at all the customers all of a sudden.
But gosh, a lot of folks. A lot of
Absolutely.
folks here today.
One of the things we didn't talk about that I always like to mention is we have lots of herbs for sale.
We do. I noticed that too.
And Milton would allow me to do it. There's plenty of parsley and sage and of
Here we
course
go.
rosemary. And we still have some thyme left. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Very, very clever. Very clever.
Well, and
It took you just a moment.
and the black swallowtails really just love
I
it
know.
when he talks about those.
I know. You know what? Speaking of that, we do have parsley, and we do have a little bit of cilantro left. And I was amazed on how. At first, I thought the parsley was cilantro. They're across from each other, and so oh, look at this. And then I read the tag, and it said parsley. I went Then I turned around and I looked at the cilantro, and it looks very similar to the two. But
Really quite a different taste, though.
yeah, very much a taste, as well as just touching the leaves. I had cilantro fragrance on my fingers, and it was delightful. But we had some dill. We have some dill, and we have parsley. So
I
that's
was wondering,
perfect.
do those black swallowtails eat cilantro? They certainly eat dill and parsley.
I don't know. I mean, that's what was thinking on my mind because the parsley and the cilantro look so close.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that, and maybe I'll have to find that out. Do a little research. But they are very close looking. But we do have some some dill as well as parsley, and those are some of the favorites plus fennel of the black swallowtail.
And not to mention the the favorite of some cooks and gardeners. Yeah, they're pretty traditional seasoning, or even folks that don't get very sophisticated in their herb seasoning.
Right.
It's good stuff. It's very nutritious, easy to grow.
Yeah, it's easy to grow. That's what. And even when it's eaten by the caterpillars, don't worry, it'll come back.
You know, another thing that's where you mentioned that eaten, really that Crawford lettuce is good right now. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's very tasty, mild, and
It has
pleasant feeling.
It hasn't gotten hot yet, and it looks good too.
Yeah,
It's very bright green, very bright color, especially on your salads and what have you, or on your BLTs, like I like to do it.
Here's the.
Now I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
A couple of dogs here are going to talk to us on the radio.
Got about 4 minutes left in our show today. Uh-oh.
Come on.
He said, well, I thought Mom was telling me to do that. I was just trying to.
It was a big, strong golden retriever.
Now she's trying to get away from.
Went through a little opening right by my chair, and I went, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, and the dog says, well, gosh, I'm sorry, but I thought that was the idea here. Mark wanted to see me, and there was an opening through here, so I'll just go.
I was going to say, Mom said hello. Go say hello. Well,
look at this team.
What do they got in there? What do they have in their basket?
Oh, there's some of your herbs, Mark.
There we go.
They got herbs, and they got one of the few remaining new gold lantana. It looks like. Anyway, lots of customers over here.
Oh, absolutely. And especially during Milberger's Super Spring Spectacular sale, there's a lot that they have for sale this weekend. Like we mentioned, the impatiens. I think you've said that they're not the easiest to grow around here, correct? Or not the most successful? Or
that's my experience. And because of our erratic heat and the moisture, they're not a xeriscape plant.
Correct.
But they're very attractive in the shade.
Very attractive, and they're very traditional. A lot of people like to plant impatiens during the summer. It's just I like to go with the zinnias in the full sun and not worry about it.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the climate of change has really affected their role in the landscape, because I didn't seem to me that 20 years ago that they were that hard to grow as they are now because of the heat.
So as I remember, it always struck me that we could grow impatiens so soon. In the springtime, I was used to having impatiens in the dead of summer up in Michigan. So I was like, wow, we can grow them in May and keep them until October. Wow, this is amazing. But not so much anymore. They're kind of erratic.
Well, what is everybody
hooting,
hollering? Mostly annuals, huh?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Well, we have a lot to go on.
We have a lot to go on, and we'll have a lot to discuss tomorrow. We're wrapping up today's edition of Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. As always, it's Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Tune in tomorrow, noon to 2. And just a reminder for next Sunday, which is Easter Sunday, we will not be live. It will be a pre-recording next Sunday, just to give people a heads up.
Yeah, but they'll be able to hear us.
Yes, they'll be able to. Yes, they'll be able to hear us.
We'll have the show.
Yes. But yes, thank you again. Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We will see you tomorrow.